Okay, so you've never been to Europe, and how do you fantasize about Europe?
You know how I fantasize about Europe when I see David Bowie, Boy George, Rod Stewart, all those people, those guys, and more. They express themselves like I wish I had wanted to express myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that, and I figure in Europe they get away with wearing makeup, men wearing makeup, and so, but not trying to be a transgender.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
They just true who they are. And I see, and when I read books, and I look at a lot of foreign movies.
Yeah.
I love foreign movies because in foreign movies from Europe and stuff, everybody's good. Like the store clerk, the main characters.
Yeah, and everybody dresses so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lived here, of course, for years, but the day I came back, I said, "Oh, Americans dress so badly." We in Europe, everybody dresses really nice.
Even, I don't care how small the part is in the movie. If somebody just went to the store one time, the main character, the lady behind the cashier, it's going to be unique. I mean, like strong and like a character. Where in American movies, they make sure nobody else upstages the star. But in European movies, everybody is important in the movie.
Yeah, but in real life as well. It's everybody dresses down here. They want to look as sleazy as possible.
And that's what I think of in Europe. I know if I was in Europe, the way I just dress every day would be, I probably would be complimented and accepted all the time, and it won't be because.
But I think in America, American men are still obsessed with the cowboy image. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so much more. They want to be the total 100% guy.
Yeah.
And in Europe, you don't have that.
Wow.
It's like a minority. And in Europe, men are so much more at ease with their female side.
Yeah.
There's no hang-ups about it.
You know what? I believe that. I never thought of it until you said it right now. It's like especially if they want to be an actor or something, every man wants to be James Dean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or Rock.
Or John Wayne.
John Wayne, yeah. And that's true. The men are molded after this male image they created a long time ago. Black and white are following it.
I mean, I would rather compare. Woody Allen is like very European in his ways of dealing, and that's why he's so popular over there. I mean, I have all his movies, and that's the American guy. That's my ideal, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I love him.
Is he real popular in Europe?
Oh, he's huge.
Wow.
Huge. I think he sells better in Europe than here. I think he didn't get off here, and first he got into art houses in Europe, and he became big there, and then they picked it up here, and now he's big here. He's big everywhere now. But,
I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm sure he got
he does.
first recognition
his
in
vulnerability. I actually, as a kid, I loved I would go see his movies all the way, and I thought he was sexy.
Yeah, no, I mean, not that, but I think he's got the wittiest. I mean, that's Jewish humor, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Jewish humor, and that works with me. And it's not only him, but he's got the wittiest things, and he's got funny movies, serious movies, depressing movies. Yes. But every time they're fabulous.
Yes, they will. Oh, that's interesting. You tell me about how you see. I can barely tell people about how I think of Woody Allen because black people don't get it. And I didn't even tell you the truth. I was like 30 years old, and I went to go see a Barbra Streisand movie, Yentl. And it was in a real upstate neighborhood, and with a big theater, and I'm looking at going, look at all these white people sitting around on the floor, and the kids are running around, and as usually they so reserved and prim and proper, and my sister said they're not white people, those are Jewish people. I never knew it was a difference between Jewish people and white people. And then I realized white people don't like Jewish people. But what it is, Jewish people to me remind me, they're like white black people.
Yeah, and they were the first, actually the Jewish people, I saw this documentary on TV a couple of months ago. They were the first to acknowledge the way that black people were treated, and they actually built social housing in New York, and they were the first to invite black people to live there.
I believe
there was a whole like area somewhere in New York. I don't remember where it was. I don't think it was New York City, but somewhere, some kind of borough around it, Brooklyn or something. And they were the first to invite black people to live there.
I believe it.
But because regular white people would not have done that in the 50s.
Right.
There was segregation and yeah.
And even as I got older, now that I start understanding Jewish people and white people, I can tell when I'm talking to Jewish people because they're so real, and they.
I love them. They have that same warmth.
The same.
I'm not talking about the Hasidic Jews because they're totally different.
Yeah,
I know. The regular Jewish people are really nice.
Yes,
yeah.
and they're real, and they all have that same matter of fact,
sense of humor too.
Yeah, right. Once I used to thought Barbara Streisand was so striking and different. Then I realized when I started seeing Jewish women, she looks like an average Jewish woman. The hair, the eyes, the nose, and the hairstyle. They all wear that same hairstyle. But before that, I thought Barbara Streisand was so unusual for a white person. And I just loved her. But then when
and same with Bette Midler.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I mean, she's a fantastic.
Yeah.
I love her even more. My husband is really fond of Streisand.
Yes.
And he came to America to see her 4 times this summer.
I was going to ask you.
She did like a tour on the East Coast. But he studied here as well, so he saw his family, his friends and stuff on the East Coast. But he doesn't know the West Coast. But I'm more attracted to the West Coast anyway.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. It doesn't. I don't know. I like the go west idea behind it. You know, it's a free. It's about freedom. I mean, I think of San Francisco in the 50s when people started experimenting with alternative lifestyles, and it all happened in California. And I love that's America for me. And the East Coast, no.
I was going to ask you.
I'm not attracted to New York at all.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, wow.
I've been there like 4 or 5 times, and it's nice to visit. I like the architecture. I like the atmosphere. But no, I don't like it.
Is this because of the people? I heard that like the people
are rude. Rude.
But I take it as, because people used to ask me, was I from New York when I was in school?
Actually, the only people that talked to me in New York were black people.
Wow.
Yeah. They were like, I was on the subway and they said, how are you doing? And they were like really talking to me, and I felt like accepted. All of a sudden I walk into the white world and it's like, boom, you get a hammer on your head.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
They're like, well, no time for you, no time for you, no time for you. Time is money.
Yeah.
And it was like, black people in New York, they listen to you.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And they're valued for what you were.
And it's funny.
In New York, it's like, if you don't have any money, you're not good enough.
Good enough. And
that's what I didn't think that was in LA. I always thought when I came to California, especially LA, that it's like you can reinvent yourself.
Yes.
And your truth is taken as face value. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not like if you say I've done this and then that, people believe you. In Europe, it's going to be true. There's like, you know what I mean? It's like this hesitation if you tell the truth or not.
Oh, wow.
I don't lie anyway, but if you say something, okay, you're that.
Yes.
And I like that. Wow. Because if you're truthful, you immediately are accepted.
Yeah.
And it's like in Europe and in New York, you have to prove yourself for months and years, and then finally you get accepted to the club.
Wow.
And I come to LA and you're in the club.
Yeah.
In a way, you know what I mean?
And when you asked me about what brought me to LA, I like the idea that I was able to reinvent myself here without no disturbance.
Same for you.
Yeah. It's like
and you could do it in your pace.
Yeah.
Because the rent is cheap here. I mean, I paid like $375 a month for my place, and I could easily adapt to the new lifestyle. It was no rush. In New York would have been a knife on your throat.
Right.
And you better start making money because you don't survive. Otherwise you'll be in the street.
Yeah.
And so Southern California was for me the ideal place.
That was I said I wasn't going to go to New York unless I'm already set up. And can live exactly where I can live. I say
I want to live in New York, probably upstate more New York because it's too busy for me. But I would love to live in New York if I would be wealthy, you know? That would be, you know?
Wow.
Then you can do anything.
And I was
but otherwise, you're stuck in the city, and the summer is the heat is horrible. You no.
And I was going to ask you about, had your husband ever been to the United States? So he been to.
Oh yeah, he was. I think he came here like when he was 18 years old to do the last year of high school.
Oh wow!
And yeah, he's somebody who's like exceptional in his family because he is different than the rest of his brothers and sisters, and he was the only one that went to university and was open to other societies. Yeah. And he even went then he studied 4 years of Japanese in Oberlin College. That's like Midwest. And then he studied 1 year in Japan.
Wow.
So yeah, but you have to have guts to go to Japan.
Yeah. And
imagine yourself, because the language is no reference at all. You go there and you're like, oh. And so, of course, he studied some years, but I mean, studying is different than living there and going there. And people are so different in their ways of dealing with each other.
Wow.
My dream is to go there, but I say you better join me, because I'm not going there alone.
Wow.
Because I would be so afraid to get lost even, and you know, and they're so different in their way, but it's so exotic at the same time. That country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've gotten really obsessed the last year about that country. If you read about it, it's so exotic, even more exotic than the States. I mean. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and I know, because I know so many people, especially even black people, more black people that went there and did really well.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. And because Japanese society is very, very, they're not open to foreigners. That means that you're like you always will stay a second-rate citizen.
Right.
Either you're 100% Japanese, and that's their way of keeping their race pure. But there's no racism. It's not really racism, but it's like they have certain habits and things, and they think foreigners are going to spoil that.
Yes.
Because, you know, if you mix wine with water, you get another product. You know what I mean? And they think, and maybe they're right. I don't know. It's nothing to do with racism, but it's keeping their lifestyle, and they've been doing it for so many times, and they do it.
And they are.
You go to that country, and it's so Japanese.
Yeah, they're so comfortable being Japanese, and they don't need nobody's approval.
Yeah, no.
Like,
And
I believe that.
They say immigration. Yeah, okay, you can come here, but don't think you're going to rule the show here.
Yes.
No, nothing about that.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe we can learn about. To keep their identity, you have to be strong.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Okay.